And it sounds like we've got some noise back in Dingwall, which is very reassuring.
Hallelujah. That's a relief. And the game has just kicked off. Let's go to Derek Ferguson, John Robertson and Rob McLean. Good luck.
Cheers, Liam. You can get too much build-up, can't you, to the game. Underway it is in Dingwall, this first match of the Premiership weekend. Massive for both teams. And for Rangers, I guess the next two fixtures could shape their season when you think about it. It could be a passport to the Champions League in Eindhoven Wednesday night, and then next weekend is the first meeting with Celtic, and how significant could that prove to be? But let your mind wander here at your peril against a Ross County side who are in the goal-scoring habit, and immediately they shift the ball very quickly forward towards Simon Murray out on the left-hand side, playing into the end, the goal occupied by Jack Butland, and behind him a stand packed out with Rangers fans hoping that their team is not going to slip up again. They can't afford to slip up again, even this early on in the campaign, having dropped all 3 points on the opening weekend at Kilmarnock. Long ball over the top of George Harman for James Tavernier, getting well up the pitch early on, but he played it first time and he side puts it into the gloves of Ross Laidlaw.
I think he should do better. It's a wonderful ball from Golson, you know, diagonal way down the right hand side. Tavernier, he's actually timed to bring the ball down. Don't understand why he takes it first time. Could have took a touch, you know, get to the byline and put in a decent cross, but just looked a little bit panicky there for a moment or two from Tavernier.
And a panicky pass in the midfield gets Ross County moving in the right direction, and it was Josh Sims bursting into the penalty box right hand side. A sliding challenge from John Suter to the rescue for Rangers, but that was so avoidable for the visitors, playing into County's hands, and Jan Danda is the first corner kick of the match.
Yeah, we've already said that you don't want to give this County team encouragement, and that's exactly what they got there. A slack pass, allow Sims to drive forward, and as I say, the height they've got, they could be causing Rangers problems here.
Corner kick right hand side for the home team, in airborne from Danda, looking for the head of Jack Baldwin. Enough pressure on the County captain that his header flew high and into the gloves of Butland, and immediately out to John Lundstrom, who's racing down the right-hand side for a Rangers team in their change strip of white shirts and blue shorts and white socks, and Ross County all in dark blue, and it's Danda again, pounding down the left-hand side. He tried to flick a pass inside for Murray, it was cut out, and Rangers are back in possession. It's a lively start in Dingwall. And it's Cantwell in possession in a deeper area from the sort of positions he was popping up in on Tuesday night at Ibrox against PSV. Whenever he plays, though, he's going to be a significant player in the game, you feel. Back it goes to Connor Goldson. And under pressure from Victor Luturi, the ball goes back to Butland, who's looking an impressive figure so far for Rangers in goal. Influential, not just in terms of his goalkeeping, but the effect he has on the players in front of him as well. George Harman for County curls a ball down the line, skidding off the rain-affected pitch and through to Butland, and Jan Danda gave up the chase there early on. Danda operating on the left side early on.
Yeah, and Rangers need to settle down a little bit. You know, there's been two wonderful diagonal passes to the overlapping fullbacks, and both times, you know, not willing to take a touch. You know, as I said, I use that word panic. You know, just popping it in first time. You know, get a hold of the ball, play a pass, and maybe both sides have been a little bit guilty, you know, of not keeping possession of the ball too well, certainly early on in this game.
It's a full house in Dingwall, as Malky Mackay said. Long ball from Connor Goldson, again skidding beyond Dessers and through to goalkeeper Laidlaw. Down went Roof. No free kick. And the ball is again back with Jack Butland in goal, and out to John Suter for Rangers, who've struggled at times this season. It's been a mixed bag from Michael Beale's team so far. Struggles against Kilmarnock, of course, that opening defeat, and a struggle against Morton as well in the League Cup. But impressive performances at times too, as Lammers looks to create something from the right side of the box. It's a good block by the 22-year-old Harman, and the ball goes out for a throw-in for Rangers close to the corner flag on the right-hand side. good performances against Servette, getting through the Champions League qualifiers, and of course at times in that match against PSV on Tuesday night, which is locked at 2 goals each, going into the return in Eindhoven, and the attack for Rangers fizzles out here. Ross County 0, Rangers 0. BBC Radio Scotland. To follow, of course, Celtic St Johnstone, Hibs and Livingston, Motherwell and Kilmarnock are the other games today, and tomorrow Dundee Hearts and St Mirren against Aberdeen. Ross County will play Aberdeen in the League Cup quarter-finals here. It's going to be a double-header in terms of those two locking horns, as Simon Murray wins the ball in a cluttered midfield. Possession is being handed back and forth before Kemar Roof finds a pass out wide for Dessers. Rolled inside towards the captain Tavernier, plays a pass inside Leak, in it goes from Dessers. Defended well enough by County, and in the end it was Danda who hooked it away straight at Barisic. And now John Suter loves to go forward with the ball. Rangers number 5. In comes the Barisic cross, headed away by Danda, who's here, there and everywhere at the moment for Ross County. The match still to settle down. A late challenge on the far side and a free kick for the home team. 5 minutes gone, goalless in Dingwall.
Yes, it's to start the home side would have wanted. I think they're harassing Rangers a wee bit here. They're making Rangers play it quickly, but I've said already, Rangers need that little bit composure, just to play the little passes. And it's important Lammers and Roof, from their perspective, stay up, keep the full back engaged, because I don't think Sims or Danda fancy chasing those full backs.
Laidlaw's free kick launched forward, slips under the boot of Jordan White, frustrated with himself. Rangers launch it forward, and it's Leak, Ryan Leak, the Welshman, who covers across and keeps his defending pretty plain and simple, and knocks the ball out of play, not far from us on the halfway line, just in front of the main stand here in Dingwall. James Tavernier to take the throw.
It's clear to see, Rob, you know, Robbo was talking about it before the game, how direct County are going to be. So Rangers just need to be alive to those little second balls, you know, certainly in that midfield area. And at the moment, you know, I was going to say coping well, but they give it away again.
Yeah, the pressure pays off again for Ross County. Brown was there, Sims to Jordan White at the edge of the area, takes a pot shot at goal. He doesn't really catch it on the turn, and it dribbles wide of target, but it was untidy again from Rangers, given away by Goldson. And again, the welcome mat being ruled out for Ross County.
Yeah, that's twice. I mean, Rangers have allowed County,
and they've lost it again. Yeah,
they're giving County encouragement, and that's what you can't do, because, as I said, if they get forward, they'll put balls in the box, and they've got guys that can hurt Rangers. And so far, all Rangers' problems are actually being caused by themselves.
Baldwin floats it into the box. Jordan White won the header, flicked it for Murray, and it was a scramble again to get it clear. Back it comes. Jordan White is proving a real handful at the moment for the Rangers central defence, but Rangers are making a big contribution themselves to what's been a difficult opening 7 minutes.
Yeah, they've been really slack, Rob. You know, there's no excuse on their surface, as I said before the game. It's like a carpet. So there's only one other thing, that the players just aren't quite as focused. You know, and I think Suter, he's terrific at coming forward with the ball, but a little bit early to be doing that, because Murray, he's on him. You know, as soon as he takes that touch, second touch, Murray in with the tackle.
Forward goes Raskin, shrugging off the challenge of Luturi. Alongside him is Cantwell. Now it's Kemar Roof, left-hand side. Overlapping is Barisic. Roof turns inside, clips it back post, a great ball, and the header from Cyril Dessers is blocked by the legs of Laidlaw. Rangers number 9 should have been opening the scoring, but it is a good save, and it's gone behind for a corner.
He's got to score. It's as simple as that. It's Rangers' first incisive movement. That bit of composure. Raskin swap passes with Cantwell. Great ball from Roof. Dessers has got to score that. He's 4 yards out. He's hit the target, but he's got to score.
Yeah, Robbo's brilliant play from Roof, because Barisic, he's on the gallop down the outside. He uses it as a decoy, but it's a wonderful ball, right on the money. Dessers, he's got to be hitting the back of net, surely.
Yeah, it's a sitter for Dessers, and Ross County will be hugely relieved he hasn't taken that opportunity. just prior to that, there was more sloppy play from Rangers as well, giving possession away. A goal would do them a whole lot of good. In comes Tavernier's corner kick, swinging way beyond the back post. In goes Barisic, still alive in the 6-yard box, and again it drops onto the head of Dessers 6 yards out, and he loops it over the top, and he throws his arms wide because he realises that was another chance.
Well, I'll be surprised if there's any more clear-cut chances than that anytime soon, because if the first one's poor, that one there, he's panicked and he's just thrown himself there. It's a wonderful leap from Barisic. It's flicked on again, and he's 5 yards out central this time, and he's just completely mistimed it.
Do you know, Robbo, what I think happens? I think he thinks he's going to there's going to be contact, he's going to take a hit. That's where you've got to be brave. Accept that you're going to maybe take a bit of a dunt, but you know that again, a header, surely it's got to be on target. So yeah, a couple of golden opportunities for Rangers.
A hefty challenge on Todd Cantwell across on the far side, and there is a yellow card coming for well, it wasn't too malicious from Baldwin, but it was certainly clumsy, and what he doesn't need after a matter of minutes in the game is a booking against his name. Sucked out to that right-hand side, the central defender, and he is booked after only 10 minutes of the match.
Yeah, it's quick feet from Cantwell. They're really clever, sucked him in, but yeah, going back, but both headers from Dessers, it's like belief. You know, as a striker, you know, you believe you're going to score. Both of them just look like he just let the ball hit him.
Rangers should be in front, but they're not, as Lundstrom drives forward through the central midfield area. Barisic up again on the left side. Down goes Roof under the challenge of Brown. And Ross County just trying to hang on in there at the moment. They had a bright start, they had opportunities which were gifted to them to make something happen, but right at the moment it is Rangers knocking loudly on the door. A header from Tavernier down into the midfield. It's intercepted by Victor Luturi, who looks to swat aside the challenge of Cantwell and slide the ball through for Murray. There's a lot of slipping and sliding as Simon Murray gets the left foot shot away, spilled by the goalkeeper, but the whistle had gone as the ball ends up in the back of the net from Jordan White. And Rangers breathe another sigh of relief, looking menacing going forward, but looking vulnerable at the back.
Yeah, and certainly Suter, you know, Murray, he's on him he's like a ton of bricks, you know. The physical, you know, you look at the two and the physicality, you know, you think Suter should be coming out on top every day of the week, but certainly not this afternoon, early doors. Murray really, you know, he's in his face, he's body checking him there. I think Suter got away with that, so they just need to settle down a little bit.
12 minutes gone in Dingwall. Ross County 0, Rangers 0. Plenty going on here despite that blank score sheet. Conor Rundle had a good old hold of John Suter when he was in possession of the ball. Now it's Goldson with another long diagonal, hooked away by Danda. Good backtracking from County's number 10, well positioned to get that away. Then it's Rundle, full-back converted into a central midfielder. Plays it back to Jack Baldwin, and the skipper hangs his head because his clearance goes directly out of play on the far side for a throw-in, and that just hands possession back to Rangers. Barisic to Suter, all the way back to Butland, the former England international goalkeeper, and out it goes to Conor Goldson. 3 changes in this Rangers team from the one which drew 2 each with PSV last Tuesday night. Goldson again, another of those long balls, watched carefully by George Harman, headed away. Danda plays it forward on the half volley. Murray chasing, putting pressure on Goldson, holds him off, turns the ball back to his goalkeeper. Ross County working hard at occupying Rangers' 2 centre-backs when they get into good areas. Operating in front of those two, Suter and Goldson, is Lundstrom. Now it's Lammers linking on the right side with Tavernier. In again Lundstrom, plays it first time for Raskan. Breathing down his neck is Luturi. Good pressure from the Ross County midfielder. It's going to be a Rangers throw-in despite Malky Mackay's protests, but he'll want his players in Rangers' faces, and that's exactly what Luturi was doing there.
Yeah, Rangers starting to get into the groove a little bit at the moment. Ross County working ever so hard. You know, certainly even in their own half to get near them at the moment. But Rangers looking quite slick at the moment.
That was a good challenge by Conor Randall on James Tavernier, number 2 against number 2, as the Rangers skipper darted forward. Rangers have a player down. It's Connor Goldson on the halfway line, slowly getting back to his feet. He doesn't tend to stay down for too long unless he's got a problem, but he is on his feet right now. And Ross County are defending with Josh Sims. And he's played it straight to Cantwell, left-hand side for Rangers. Infield it goes. Lammers, 25 yards out, tries the shot. Blocked by Laturi. Now it's Nicolas Raskin, the Belgian under-21 international, who tries to just backheel it towards Tavernier. Gets it back, Raskin. His cross in, and the header from Lammers, who was up well, right about the penalty spot. Got good contact on it, but straight at Ross Laidlaw.
Better from Rangers, and they said that when they use that little bit of composure there, they knocked it about a wee bit. Good cross from Raskin, and it's an easy save name. It's a decent effort, but Rangers have got to be a bit, just calm themselves a little bit, because twice Golson's tried to knock the ball in behind the fullback, but twice Lammers hasn't brought the fullback out, so they've got to get him out there first before they can go in behind, because the fullback's causing the easy defending.
Lammers clips one down the right side for Dessers, peeling out wide. The number 9 who's with a couple of early chances, big chances, both with his head, both failed to find the back of the net. One of them should have done, at least you'd have thought. Lammers again linking up with Tavernier. Rangers keeping possession under pressure from Ross County. Now it's Cantwell, and it's a poor ball across the pitch, and Josh Sims at the second attempt intercepts, then loses his footing, then wins it back, and now he's on the move, getting forward. Ross County's number 11, Jordan White in the middle to Jan Danda, taking a touch in the centre circle. Great sliding challenge by John Lundstrom to win it back for Rangers. Now it's Cantwell, threads it through to Kemar Roof. Roof into the middle, looking for Dessers. It just slides away from him, and off his line to grab the ball comes Ross Laidlaw.
Yeah, it's been played at a fair old pace, isn't it, Rob? I think it's important as well, that front three, Dessers, Lammers and Roof, at times they don't just sit and play narrow, they work themselves into the wide areas, try to stretch that back county back four.
Leaks, long ball is headed away by Suter, onto it Randall for the home team. Then it's James Brown who plays it into Baldwin. Laturi's under pressure, has to hurry and get the pass back to his skipper. Then down the right side looking for James Brown, steps inside on his left foot, angles a ball over the top of Tavernier for George Harman. Great touch, and he fires it in, Harman, and it's cleared by Suter, only as far as Danda, just outside the box. Harman again, back with Randall, left-hand side for the home team. Danda's cross ball partially blocked and hooked away by Cantwell. Good passage of play this for the home team. Infield to Laturi, back with Danda, clipped inside. Jordan White stepping in front of Goldson to flick it towards Murray, but Suter was there to deal with it for Rangers, and Jack Butland in the end clears, launching it left-footed down the pitch. It skims off Brown's head. Baldwin covering in behind, and the skipper plays it to Conor Randall in central midfield. Just settling at the moment, getting a feel of the ball, slowing things down. It's been pretty breathless the opening 15 minutes or so in Dingwall, and Ross County welcoming the chance there just to slow things down. Rangers, though, are back in possession on halfway with Tavernier and Lundstrom. Dessers on the spin, gets it back from Roof. Quick, slick passing from Rangers, 25 yards out, but they couldn't quite find the final ball, and Josh Sims clears for County up towards Simon Murray.
Now we've got a good game in our hands now, Rob. Bit hectic early doors, but certainly both sides settling down, playing their football now.
Lammers right in the middle of the pitch, waiting 14, clips it forward. Raskin with a head flick, Tavernier to the byline, and it comes off Danda, and it's gone behind, and Rangers have got a corner kick. They are upping the ante at the moment, looking for a breakthrough.
Yeah, it's what we've come to expect Rangers this season. There's a lot of slick passing there, and bar the final pass just to get through there, but when they show that composure, they look a more than decent side. But I say the slack bits are coming in, and County are countering on them very, very well. It's a very even match, but if the game settles down, you'd think that'd be in the favour of the away side.
Well done with Kenty countering. That wasn't your easiest one. Corner kick for Rangers on the right-hand side here. Borna Barisic to deliver beyond the back post. Header knocked off the line by Randall. It was John Shooter at the back post who got the header in. When it comes back in from open play, Kenty get it clear this time. Under pressure, but standing firm, the Holden team. And it remains Ross County 0, Rangers 0, with the best part of 20 minutes gone.
And Rangers looking dangerous from set pieces, Rob. You think that was just going to come from County, but good delivery down that right-hand side. Barisic left-footed, in-swinging, causing County a few problems.
Good ball winning from Raskin, right-hand side. Now Lammers' movement up ahead from James Tavernier, heading for the byline. And realising he was struggling to get the cross in, he just plays it off Ryan Leake and makes sure that Rangers have another corner.
You look at that midfield battle. Don't know if you agree, Robbo, but Lundstrom, Raskin, even Cantwell, they're starting to enjoy it now. You can see it, the little tussles, the little 50-50s. You know, they're starting to win them. They're starting to, you know, enjoy it.
They've got the extra man in there, and that's what they've got to do, because the County central defenders will not come out. So if they work it quickly like they have done the last few minutes, it can cause problems.
Another Rangers corner kick into the back post. Kemar Roof with a diving header from the corner kick back into the Rangers team for his first start in 16 months. And he scores the opening goal of the game. Michael Beale talking pre-match about his impressive strike rate despite his injuries, and there's another one, and it's an important breakthrough for Rangers in Dingwall. Ross County 0, Rangers 1.
I'm just saying, Rob, great delivery. I think that was Roof on the volley there at the back post, but it's a wicked ball in swinging, you know, and it just falls at the back post area. We'll get a little glance at it. I'm sure it was a volley. You know, it looks as if he's just fallen back a little bit, but keeps his balance. What technique. Yeah, he's only, 7-8 yards out, but it's a fine finish.
Yeah, County were warned the previous corner. Okay, it was a header, but it was headed down and scrambled away from. But this time, Kemar Roof just peeled off the back area, as you say, a little sort of hitch kick, scissor kick there, and he's managed to force it over the line, and Rangers are ahead.
Well, he was raving about him beforehand. He was saying that Kemar Roof has his total confidence, Michael Beale, and that is a really sharp bit of finishing from the man who wears 25 on his bag, and he will be delighted that he is back in the starting lineup and back with a bang for Rangers. All those important games coming up, but at the moment none more important than this one. Rangers hit the front in the 22nd minute in Dingwall, and it's Kemar Roof, and it's his layoff which releases now Raskin down the right-hand side, looking to immediately add to that opener. Back for Lammers, it's all opening up in front of him. He slips it through. James Tavernier. Ross County could be in trouble again. Plenty of dark blue shirts in there, but just for a moment there, none of them were having much effect until George Harman managed to get the ball clear. Back in it comes from Goldson, stabbed away by Leake. Harman's header. It's an important phase this for Ross County, that they don't concede again, and that's exactly what Rangers are planning to do.
Yeah, Rangers just get through the gears, Rob, at the moment. So they are with some quality play as well at times. And we talk about Roof, we always knew Roof is a top quality player, but as we all know, it's his fitness. Can he stay fit? That's the problem, that's the issue. I think most other players, you know, if they weren't at the level that Roof's at, you know, they wouldn't be at Rangers Football Club. But the manager, he's kept faith. Hopefully he can stay fit, you know, and score. It was a wonderful goal because it's brilliant technique at the back post under pressure. But
here on Sports Sound. Unfortunately, for the third time since I've sat in the studio, the line has gone down in Dingwall. But what we do have here, thankfully, are pictures. And as you've just been hearing from Rob, Kemar Roof has given Rangers the lead against Ross County. It's Liam McLeod here with Leanne Crichton in the studio, watching the match. Free kick there given away by Kemar Roof midway inside the county after county free kick. And you'd have to say, Leanne, probably a deserved lead for Rangers.
Yeah, no, the dominated possession certainly in the attacking third against Ross County, albeit County have given a decent account of themselves and have had a couple of half chances at goal, but just that sustained pressure from Rangers eventually paid off in relation to the corner kick, and Kemar Roof does really well. Both players at the back post being pretty physical, I would need to say, when I looked at it initially. But Kemar Roof does what he does, and we know his goal scoring ratio for Rangers is pretty good. It's just been those injuries that Michael Beale alluded to in pre-match that tends to hold him back. But a big goal for Rangers, you would need to say, at this point of the game in the half. We spoke earlier about how tough the game would be and how well equipped Ross County would be for the challenge, and that they would throw everything at Rangers. So certainly a goal that settles the team down, and I'm sure for Kemar Roof, his first start in 16 months, was it? We said earlier on. So I'm sure as a player, that's certainly one that will ease the pre-match nerves that he might have had.
We'll get you back to the commentary team at Victoria Park as soon as we can, but for the moment it's James Tavernier to the edge of the box. He goes for goal and finds the top left corner. James Tavernier just to the right of the D outside the county box, lashes it home past Laidlaw. He's one of the biggest keepers in the league. He's not getting to that one. And suddenly, in the space of a couple of minutes in Dingwall, it is Ross County 0, Rangers 2.
That's an unbelievable hit from James Tavernier. He actually does really well. Ross County are playing with the ball in the middle of the pitch. Tavernier steps in and intervenes. He's driving towards the edge of the box. He just looks up at a glance. He sees the positioning of Laidlaw, and it is absolutely top drawer. The finish is sublime. It just wraps itself into the side netting from James Tavernier, and as you say, within a matter of minutes, this game is certainly turned in its head, and it's advantage Rangers.
Yeah, they deserve the lead, but they've now doubled it as well. James Tavernier back in the old routines. A fantastic goal, really is. It looped away from Laidlaw into that top left corner. And now we can go back to Victoria Park. Derek Ferguson, John Robertson and Rob McLean can give their take on that goal.
I was just thinking, it's a shame we didn't have a commentator and a summariser in the studio to to fill the breach there. Tavernier makes it 2 for Rangers, and they're threatening again with Dessers on the left foot, spilled by Laidlaw and scrambled away by James Brown. This could be done and dusted before half-time the way it's going at the moment. Apologies for the interruption in coverage from Dingwall. We'll maybe have a whip round at half-time, find a few coins for the meter for Roy McGregor to see if we can keep the power going here. But Rangers are certainly turning on the power in this first half. 2 goals in little more than 3 minutes. Firstly, Kemar Roof, then James Tavernier. Brilliant finish from Tavernier for his 3rd goal of the season already. But Ross County seemed to be standing back and admiring as he drifted forward. And you know exactly what he's going to do, don't you?
Yeah, well, we've said before, Rangers are starting to hit the groove. They're starting to find the little spaces, passing between. They've had 2 or 3 tremendous interactions round the corners. But when you let James Tavernier go there, and listen, we caught the wonderful summation of Leanne there. What a finish. Yeah. Unbelievable. We were right behind it. You can see it arching away from the keeper right into the top corner. And listen, we can talk about hard work, we can talk about intensity, but when you show the quality of that standard, you ain't stopping it.
Yeah, the goal, Rob, it's not one of them he's driving forward and he thinks, I'm just going to hit through the ball, you know, and hope it goes into the back of the net. He places it with power in the top right-hand corner, and that's moving forward. Such a difficult thing to do, such a difficult technique. It was absolutely wonderful. I just think what we're seeing at the moment is just, I said that Rangers are starting to go through the gears, and there's levels to the game, and at the moment Rangers are playing at a level that Ross County simply quite can't handle.
Ross County looking to respond at the moment. Decent ball in from the right-hand side from Josh Sims, headed behind, and County will have a corner kick. It's so important that they don't concede again, the home team, in this first half. But equally, they would love to get on the board with a goal of their own to feel that they're back in this game, because at the moment it is showing distinct signs of slipping away from them. Roof and Tavernier scoring. Rangers 2 goals in front ahead of 2 massive matches. In it comes from the corner kick. Well, it was Jan Danda with the delivery, but clearly the ball had gone out before it came back in, according to the assistant. So that's a wasted set piece.
It is, and it's a threat for County, but know, you try not to get too far ahead. I'm sure Michael Beale will be the same, but he must be a wee bit concerned because that's his two centre halves. We all thought, Fergie said as well, Balogun might have had a run out today. That's Golson and Suter have been thumped by the county striker, so he'll be keeping them one eye. If he could get that third goal, he could maybe then think, you know, can I take Golson off? Can I take Suter off? And because they're getting battered about here by the front two.
Just about half an hour gone in Dingwall, and Rangers 2 up. And when you think about those 2 early headers for Cyril Dessers, it could so easily have been 3 or 4 by now, and Jack Butland hasn't had a serious save to make. This game could have been gone for Ross County, and it might be already, and it certainly will be if Rangers do score again. A deflection on the shot from just outside the box from Todd Cantwell, spun up in the air and down on the top of the net. It wasn't going to go in, but it will give Rangers another corner kick, and of course they scored their opening goal from exactly this position. And it is Borna Barisic who is strolling across to take this from the right-hand side. It was Roof on the end of it earlier for the Rangers opener. County can't afford to be switching off again. In it comes from the Barisic corner kick, whipped in beyond the back post. A little bit too much on it for everyone that time, and it ends up skidding behind for the goal kick.
It was actually a decent corner, I think, Rob. You know, same area, the one that Roof got his goal, but I think the players just go a little bit early, get a little bit under the ball, and it just aimlessly goes out for a corner kick. But no, the last 10-15 minutes, Rangers have, as I said, have been a different level, just upped it through the gears, and you got to say the 2 goals have been wonderful. One a volley, brilliant technique under pressure, and then Tavernier, you know, striding forward and hitting that. You know, it's such a difficult technique and putting it right in the top corner. Superb stuff.
Dessers on the attack, right-hand side, drifting infield, squares it to the edge of the area for Lammers. There's another chance there for Rangers, and it was a good block by Jack Baldwin, sliding across to get in the way of that from Lammers, because this is gone for Ross County if Rangers strike again, and the home team are certainly living dangerously. James Brown clears up towards Jordan White, making his presence felt, but while the 2 Rangers central defenders have been getting a bit of a battering at times, nothing has added up to any threat to Jack Butland.
No, they've not. I think, you know, the Simon Murray shot, he'd already fouled Suter in that one, but listen, the game's going how most neutrals or people would expect it to go. Rangers are on top. What they're doing now, though, Rangers, is they're getting that piece of composure. They're knocking little ones round the corner, and County right now need to hang in. You've seen already Malky Mackay's asked Jordan White to drop in because of the 3v2 in the middle of the park, but Rangers are still passing round in little patterns, and listen, they've shown 3 unbelievable bits of quality, and they could have been 3 up there. You know, the cross for Barisic for Dessers for the first header. Yeah. You know, that was a bit of quality, and then the volley, and then, you know, there's not really a word right now for how, you know, the goal from Tavernier. It's just stunning. You know, it was absolutely superb.
Here he goes again, isn't it? Every season you think he surely can't do that again, can he? In terms of the number of goals he comes up with. But Derek, that's 3 already, and we're not at the end of August.
Yeah. These stats are unbelievable. We know the quality that it has going forward. At times, yeah, can he be suspect, you know, at the back? Yeah, we know that, but what he gives you going forward, you can't deny. It's absolutely brilliant. And also, Rangers' best player for me this season is Cantwell, playing a totally different role this afternoon. You know, just dropping in, playing in front of the 2 centre halves at times, just knocking the ball about. You know, so he's so versatile, Cantwell. You know, but we thought before the game today might play a little bit further up, but no, he's just playing in that holding midfield role, popping the ball about.
Lovely exchange again between Roof and Dessers. The layoff was intended for Lammers, and Ross County have hauled the Dutchman down in trying to stop that triangle of passes being completed. It was hugely threatening again to the home team. It was all they could do to stop Rangers, and it ends up with a free kick 25 yards out, right in front of goal.
Well, the Rangers players are livid because it was our captain that pulled him back, Baldwin, and they're appealing for a second yellow here. And I've got to say, I don't like it. I agree with him. He's pulled him back. He was going through. It's a yellow card all day long, and I think the referee, Mr. Monroe, knows he's already booked Baldwin, and he's not pulled another card out here. So, you know, that's the inconsistency. He's booked him, and that is a yellow card all day long. But I'll tell you what, it'll be interesting. Can Tavi Fergie, you going to call it Tavernier, same corner, top bin?
Well, James Tavernier's over this, and Borna Barisic as well. It's right in the middle, so it could be either. Tavernier has already put that ball exactly when he wanted to for Rangers' second goal. Maybe it's Borna Barisic time this time. He, of course, who created the opening goal with his corner kick to the back post for Roof. Rangers looking for a third goal of the game in Dingwall in this 12:30 kickoff. It is Barisic, and the wall does its job. And it was a painful job by the looks of it, because Kanté got a player down. Play goes on, but it's stopped now because it was a bang on the head from the strike from Barisic. But Ross County survived that moment, at least already 2 down.
So how does that work? Bravo's absolutely bang on the money. You know, it pulls him back.
Yeah.
It's a yellow card. You can't be saying, okay, Rangers are 2-0 up.
And if he hadn't been booked already, he would have yellow carded him.
Yeah, he should be off the park.
I'm sure Leanne and Liam will have it in the studio. They can chat about it at half time. But if it happened that quick, if it indeed it was Baldwin, he should be off the pitch. It's, you know, that's where sometimes you look at the referees and think, come on, guys. You know, I mean, obviously we don't want people to be sent off if we can help it, but it's a pretty straightforward yellow card.
And it was definitely Baldwin, Robbo, was it?
That's the only thing.
Maybe Leanne can confirm that for us if she's been watching those pictures.
The Rangers player were so vehement in their protestations that it looked to me as if it was Baldwin. In fact, that they were questioning it, because had it been someone else, they probably wouldn't have been that concerned.
Rangers moving well again until the cross ball, or attempted cross ball from Raskan down the left-hand side. It goes behind Laidlaw's goal, but Rangers putting together some really good football in Dingwall, and they're a team who mean business today. We spoke beforehand about the possibility of distractions in terms of the games coming up. There's been no evidence of that whatsoever. It's 2-0 and it could have been more.
Yeah, and it should be more, Rob. Dessers with a couple of headers that should be hitting the back of the net, but he's played well today, you know, into that outside right channel. He's been peeling down there as he goes again, you know, chasing the ball down, so he's showing good energy, a good appetite for the game. He's not the quickest, as we can see, but he's got a real physicality about him. But the thing is, when you watch Rangers going forward, at the moment, they look as if they're going to score. You know, Lammers had a couple of opportunities, Roof's looking really dangerous. I think that front three looks good today. Certainly Roof is in my opinion, made a difference. Nice, they're just a nice balance about them.
The guy Lammers he's got some lovely touches, and he's very easy in the eye. He's got that language style, but just that last bit, it doesn't look like he believes himself for the finish, because everything else in his game is really good.
Yeah. See, but I would say he's not got that kind of like devilment in his game. Just what you're saying, he's a nice player, but you know, to go to the other level, you just need to have that little. It's not nastiness that he needs, you know. It's just that you're saying belief, but it's that devilment, you know, just to go and finish.
What I'm saying is, twice he's come in really well, and he's had 2 shots, both blocked, and you're saying to yourself, but didn't really. To me, it didn't really believe he was going. I'm going to score with this.
Leanne, we enjoyed your commentary on the second Rangers goal. What about that call? Was that Jack Baldwin with the tug on Lammers?
We only seen it back once in the studio, Rob, but immediately I was drawn to the captain's armband as it happened, and I thought yellow card, and hadn't actually realised at that point that Baldwin was on a yellow card already. So completely agree with the guys and what they're saying. It's 100% a second yellow card, and Baldwin's got to walk. Madness from him. Really big decision to make that call and pull the shirt on the edge of the box.
Yeah, that's a big escape for Ross County. They were already in big bother at 2 goals down, but had they gone one man down as well, then the scoreline, you would imagine, could become anything. It could still, of course, become anything, even with 11 against 11, because much of this first half has been one-way traffic. goals from Roof and Tavernier have Rangers on easy street, but they're not playing like it's easy street. They're playing like this match matters a whole lot to them, despite the fact that there are those gigantic tussles with PSV and Celtic to come in a matter of days. Their focus is fully on this one. Danda down the left-hand side for Ross County. John Shooter covering across. Up goes an offside flag against County. In any case, not too much going right for them. They got a good start to the game, although much of that was to do with Rangers' untidiness on the ball. But since that opening phase, it's been all about Michael Beale's team.
Yeah, you know, Fergie called it earlier. They've gone through the gears. They're in total control right now, and I'm sure Michael will like a third goal, because if he got a third goal, it would allow him to look ahead to Thursday very quickly and say, do I take James Tavernier off? Do I take Barisic off? Do I give Balogun a run in central defence? Maybe bring in Jack into central midfield, save Cantwell's legs a little bit, because we already know, as I say, I think Sima and Matondo's pace could be a big out for them on Wednesday night.
Yeah, I totally get where you're coming from, Rob, but I think still a job to do here at the moment. 2 goal, it is a dangerous lead, as we know. In this County side, they show real character. They ain't going to give it up. We can see that. They're chasing everything. The problem is they're just not in the same level as Rangers football-wise, but they're giving their all for their manager. You can see that clearly. But I think maybe after hour, and if they do get that third goal, you might start to, think about Wednesday night's game. But at the moment, they look as if they're playing with a real purpose about them.
BBC Radio Scotland in Dingwall with Ross County 0, Rangers 2. The scoreline, it certainly doesn't flatter the title challengers, and a team desperate to get back into the Champions League group stages as well. And domestically, of course, keen to make up for that opening reverse at Kilmarnock on the first day of the season. But little danger, it seems, at the moment of spilling anything in this one. Indeed, they could be very much home and hosed anytime. Such is their domination. Goldson to Lundstrom down the right-hand side. He swings in a cross ball, which is headed away by Baldwin. And a big question mark, of course, about whether Jack Baldwin should still be on the pitch. In fact, it seems glaringly obvious that he should have been sent off for a second yellow. It's a big break for County, and it's one they'll hope to build on as this match progresses, but they're really struggling to cope at the moment with what Rangers are throwing at them. Tavernier down the right side of the box for Roof. He turns it back towards Raskin. In goes Luchuri to play it off Roof and out for a throw-in close to the corner flag. There's a real intensity, isn't there, about this Rangers performance?
There's a nice balance about them. The 2 full-backs getting themselves forward. You look at Rangers centre-backs as well, Suter at times driving forward, Golson with the diagonals, and then you look at that midfield. Yeah, there's some quality players in there, but they like to dig in. They like the physical aspect. They want to make challenges, and then the movement from the front 3, has been good, really good. Dezers is breaking into that wide right channel at times. Ruth, holding his position more centrally, but clever link-up play. And Lammers has had 1 or 2 moments of real quality.
Down has gone Dessers with a bang on the head, clashing, I think, with Baldwin there. Stayed down. Rangers number 9 looks as if he might need a little bit of attention as the first half comes to a close. His head was in the spotlight early on in the game as well. 2 great chances, particularly the first one on the end of a Barisic delivery to the back post. Really should have been scoring. The second chance was maybe a little bit more difficult. It was looping in the air, and he curled his header over the top. You're
right, the first one he should score. I'm looking at Malcolm Mackay's moaning here that Dessers should get a yellow card for that after what's just happened, ironically, on Baldwin. But no, you're right, his first one he's got to score. I mean, it's the old one, striker, the crosses come from left, head it back where it comes from, I think he scores. The second one, technically, yeah, more difficult, but he seemed to rush it, and it come off the side of his head and went over. But there's no doubt, as a striker, Dessers will be disappointed he didn't stick one of them away, especially the first one.
Yeah. And it would have had Rangers very comfortable at that stage had one of those opportunities been taken, but they've certainly cashed in since. as Lundstrom drives forward again from the midfield. It's a great run from him, now angling out to the right-hand side, and he rolls it back inside for Tavernier. Tavernier to Lammers. Rangers moving so smoothly. His cross-ball back post, diving header away from Brown, flicked further clear by Laturi. Lundstrom has it again. Now Lammers jinking one way, then the other, curls one in, and it's clawed away at the back post by Ross Laidlaw. Looked for a moment as if that cross ball was going to dip into the back of the net. Good goalkeeping to stop it ending up there.
It was a brilliant save, but it's brilliant play. Lammers right hand side, just outside the box, couple of step overs, then left foot. You try to find that, same as Tavernier, that top right hand corner, but what a save it was from Laidlaw in goals.
Vital stop from the goalkeeper. Stop his team going 3 behind. 2 minutes being added at the end of the first half in Dingwall. And Rangers have yet another corner kick, this time on the left-hand side. James Tavernier delivers from the corner kick. Out came Laidlaw. And a blast of David Munro's whistle means it is a free kick to the home team, who will relish getting back into the home dressing room with no more damage done as they look to regroup for the second half, 2 goals down.
Yeah, I think the 2 big breaks you can say for County in the first half is one, that they're not more than 2 goals behind, because Rangers could have been out of sight, and of course they should have been down to 10 men. So I think if Malkin can get them in at 2-0, settle them down, and you never know, we've seen it 100 times before. They come out, if they grab the first goal of the second half, completely changes the dynamics of this game.
2-0 it is inside stoppage time at the end of the first 45 in Easter Ross, as the referee's whistle goes again.
It's been a top performance, Rob, without a shadow. You know, take away the first 5-6 minutes of the game. I mean, we'll look at Butland, he's had nothing to do, but there was one just moments ago, a long ball driven into the box, and he comes away out his box. Out his 6-yard box, and collects it. He just relieves the pressure.
He just plucks it out of the air, doesn't he?
Yeah, and it just, it's so calming, for the defenders in front of him. So, a real good performance. But as I'll say again, the job ain't done yet.
Offside against Kemar Roof. He's furious and he's frustrated and he's really fired up. You can see that in Kemar Roof, but he must have been so happy to have got his goal.
I was just about to say that, Rob. That's one thing that's impressed me about Rangers today. The midfield 3 have been tremendous. Fergie called it earlier that they were going to rotate.
Tenacious.
They've rotated, but they're 2-0 up, they're cruising. Roof's raging, he's not got the ball. Desser's earlier on, raging, never got the ball. Cantwell, raging, he wasn't given the ball. So that's a good mentality.
All that chat as the half-time whistle goes, all that chat about Rangers being distracted and with their minds on bigger games to come. It all seems ridiculous on the basis of what we've seen in this first half in Dingwall. They have been firing on all cylinders. It's been the sort of performance that must have had Michael Beale purring at times. Top quality from Rangers, a potentially difficult fixture, and County have been swatted aside by the team who head for Eindhoven on Wednesday night, and then the first Old Firm match of the season next Sunday. But they're well on the way to getting the job done here. The attitude has been top-notch, and some of the football has been very easy on the eye from Rangers, who missed those 2 early opportunities. Cyril Dessers, twice the ball dropped on his head. The first one was particularly straightforward, should have been scoring, saved by the legs of Laidlaw. The second one, a looping effort, which was more difficult to convert, but it could have gone in as well. For their number 9. They did strike midway through the first half. It had to come because they were battering against the door after an early lively spell from Ross County, which was mainly based on Rangers' sloppy play. But Rangers controlled it from then on. The opening goal, the Barisic corner kick from the right-hand side, arrowed in towards the back post and hooked in by Kemar Roof. Despite his game time, he's looking very sharp, and he's certainly looking fired up for more. So that was 1-0. 3 minutes later, it was 2-0. You don't take your eye off James Tavernier when he drifts forward. Ross County did, and from 25-30 yards out, he spotted the top corner, and he didn't blast it. He just placed it with the inside of his right foot, where Ross Laidlaw wasn't going to be able to stop it. 2-0 Rangers, cruising at that point. although it's not been a cruising performance. It's been a showing of real intensity from Rangers, and they could have been playing 10 men for the rest of the game had Jack Baldwin been sent off, and he should have been sent off. It was lovely play again from Rangers, passing around the edge of the area. Lammers was almost in on goal. He was held back by the skipper. He'd already been booked. He should have seen yellow again, and it's a big break for the home team that they're not playing here in the second half with 10 men. They've got an uphill struggle enough, though, against a hugely impressive Rangers. Half-time here, Ross County 0, Rangers 2.
The Scottish Premiership.
From BBC Radio Scotland.
Sports Sound here on BBC Radio Scotland on Extra 810 medium wave online and on digital. Ross County 0, Rangers 2 at half-time. Another 3 Premiership matches to come at 3 o'clock, plus all the action from the Championship in Leagues 1 and 2. You'll get that with Kenny McIntyre once we are done in Dingwall. Leanne Crichton watching that game with me in the studio here. We'll get to the Baldwin incident in the next few minutes. But firstly, we'll talk about what has been certainly one of, if not the best Rangers performance of the season so far. I know they put up a pretty stoic defence against PSV on Tuesday evening, but today they've just had that vibrancy that perhaps the Rangers supporters were worried that wasn't coming anytime soon.
Yeah, I think the dominance of the ball as well in key areas. I think a lot of the times, perhaps when you watch Rangers, a lot of the time it could be pedestrian in their own half, and they look to move it and look for those key areas. But actually from the get-go this afternoon, they've looked to try and pen Ross County in their own half. They've moved the ball with a purpose. They've looked to try and target key areas, whether that's coming for the overload and support from Tavernier and Barisic, or at times it's Dessers or Roof that's popping up in a wide area. I think they've looked to try and shift Ross County. They've been more aggressive, I think, with entries into the box. They've had 12 shots, 6 of those have been on target. They've had 18 touches inside their opposition box. Final third entries, it's probably the most that I've seen from Rangers this season in an opening 45 minutes. They look hungry. Laidlaw's had a number of big saves to make as well. Rob touched on it there in his summarisation of the first half, and has probably kept Ross County in the game with those key saves. Rangers just look hungry. They look like a different animal today. They look like they've taken that performance from midweek, and probably the confidence from midweek as well, because there was a lot of questions over, were Rangers going to be able to match PSV? PSV certainly had strengthened an awful lot. Are Rangers as good this season as they were last season? We watched them at Ibrox last Saturday, and I know there was a number of changes against Morton, but it was a struggle for Rangers. They made it really tough. So they've kicked on. Midweek has certainly given them that boost. We spoke about Dingwall being a really tough venue to go to. They've set the standard in the first half. Some real quality, certainly Tavernier. The second goal is outstanding. The listeners need to tune into the Sports Scene highlights tonight to see that. It's top drawer. Really good. It's what Tavernier does. He provides, he produces. His statistics are unbelievable, as the guys touched on in commentary. I'm sure Michael Beale's going to be really pleased with his side's performance thus far.
And actually the Kamar Roof goal is better than you initially think it is. It's a really clever finish, a kind of low volleyed finish. You need to hold off the defender as well. Yeah, and again, just proving his worth to this Rangers squad, having been out for so long.
No, that's it. And I think he's always been that player that looks desperate and hungry to get back in, and he almost plays with his heart on his sleeve. You can see that in the way that he performs, the physical player that he is. He looks to try and mix it. He's always in there with the goals. Injuries really have been an issue for him throughout his Rangers career, but he mixes it again physically. I think it's Danda that's picking him up at the back post. The two of them are grappling, and as you say, adjusts really well and manages to get the final contact, and the important contact on it that puts it into the back of the net. And at that point in the half, as I mentioned in commentary when we came into to step in for the guys, that it's a really important time in the half, because when you know you're going somewhere that's tough and you're going to need to break down a strong Ross County side, just to get that opening goal just calms the nerves. Kamar Roof did really well.
I'm just watching the replay of the Tavernier goal there. It's a sublime finish. It's outstanding from Tavernier, and we've grown accustomed to seeing that down the years. He's been at Rangers for such a long time now. But will Malky Mackay be annoyed that nobody's going to press him?
He will be, but I think it's one of those, you're probably caught in two minds. The way that Rangers have moved the ball in the half, you're expecting another combination to come. You're looking perhaps to go and look to find the wide areas or switch the point of attack and go out the other side. But as I mentioned, Tavernier steps into the game really well. He wins back possession and he just travels centrally, and he recognises that the space opens up for him, and it doesn't look to me like there's an awful lot of force and power behind the shot. It's just that James Tavernier technique that he's got, the ability to lift and flight a ball. I think he uses a defender in front of him almost as that guide, and it just moves from in to out and finishes up in the top corner and almost right in the side net. And so an unbelievable finish, and again that goal in quick succession off the back of the first really did kind of nail down the half for Rangers.
We'll talk about Jack Baldwin in just a moment. We'll go back to John and Derek, but the talent has arrived in the studio. Kenny McIntyre is here to tell us what's coming up in the latter part of sports, and of course we're here till 7 o'clock.
Well, yeah, I popped down to my car, Leanne, and came back up and he's sitting in that seat. Last week you head off to Celtic Park, desert me.
You found the key to get in, did you?
Eventually. Yeah, looking forward to today, Liam. Some great games at 3 o'clock. I think there's a lot of interest in the game at Easter Road. Hibs, no doubt, under a bit of pressure. I think Lee Johnson, every time we talk about that on the programme and open all mics, and he seems to be perhaps his back against the wall, he finds a result. Can he do so again today against Livingston? Got a great guest on Open All Mics today. Callum Davidson will join us. We'll get his thoughts. Looking forward to that. And yeah, right through until 7 o'clock. The fan element is something I've really enjoyed at 5:30. Some great fans on. We've got Hibs, Celtic, Kilmarnock, St Johnstone today, Dundee United. Interesting to hear the thoughts of the fans after the games, and also looking ahead to a big week of European fixtures. Last week we had a Motherwell fan on at the start of the programme who was absolutely sensational, so a hard act for the other supporters today. But open all mics from 3 o'clock, we have all the build-up, we have from all the managers, and of course post-match reaction from this game here in Dingwall.
And Celtic St Johnstone's the commentary option.
That's the commentary game as well, so Jim Duffy's going to be there, Pat Bonner's going to be there. Interesting comments this week from Brendan Rodgers about talking about the squad needs to strengthen. It's weaker, he said, than it was last season. We'll get some Celtic fans coming to join us from 5:30. It's not been a great start to the season, you'd have to say, a bit unconvincing. So that's our commentary game, and we'll also get updates on Open All Mics from Jim Duffy on that one.
Good stuff, Kenny. I'll keep the chair nice and warm.
Keep it, thank you.
Good stuff. Let's get back to John and Derek then, looking at the first half of that game there. Obviously the 2 goals, Rangers dominant in the game, but there was that moment towards the end of the first half there, Derek, where Jack Baldwin tripped his man, free kick, which Barisic put straight into the wall. But Jack Baldwin already on a yellow card. Now, it's important at this point to remind you that VAR cannot intervene when it comes to second yellows, which is why they've not gone back and looked at it, because Baldwin's on a booking. But he's running the risk there, Derek, and it's another controversial incident. I know David Munro was the referee at Starks Park a couple of weeks ago. He upset Dougie Imrie during that game as Raith played Morton. But that's another big moment, isn't it?
It's massive, and it was the eagle-eyed John Robertson that spotted it right away. He turned and he knew it was Baldwin that had made the tug, the contact, and it's simply a yellow card. He's already on a yellow card. He should be off the park. So I mean, I don't know if you've heard on Open All Mics, Liam, at times I praise referees when they have a good game. I think it's important you do that, but it's also we've got to point out when they get it totally wrong. You've got to be honest and open. So he's made it's a massive mistake, you know. And yeah, Rangers you could see they're cruising at the moment. They're playing ever so well, but you just don't know against this county side. So, you know, they should be playing against 10 men. They aren't. They've still got a job to do in the second half, but it was a massive moment, and one that the referee got totally wrong.
Yeah, the guys are just going to... it's important that I let everyone know what's happening here. They're going to just drop off just for a moment. They're going to switch to a generator, because if you're with us for the first half, we were having troubles keeping the line established in Dingwall. Fortunately, we do have the crowd feed, so we were able to pick up at one point there. But we'll let the guys just pop off so that they're back for the second half. We'll maybe get a wee word with John, who's getting a good break. But Leanne, a difficult second half coming up for Ross County. You're okay, it's 2-0, 1 goal, they're right back in it. But every single statistic is majorly in Rangers' favour here. It's a difficult half-time team talk for Malky Mackay. And it's been, on paper, to get Celtic and Rangers in 2 of your first 3 games isn't ideal.
No, it's definitely not ideal, and it won't be games like this that will define Ross County's season, albeit that probably sounds a bit cliche. But 2-0 is a bit of a horrible scoreline, I would need to say, even if you're the team that's winning 2-0, because you do know it the game can turn on its head. The next goal is vitally important, and that'll be the message from Malky Mackay at half-time to his players. I don't think they've played anywhere near their level. I think probably for the first 10-15 minutes they matched Rangers to a point. They've fallen out of the half as it's gone on. So for him, I'm sure he'll be enthused by the fact that he knows his side can produce more and he can squeeze more out of them. How they start the second half will dictate how the game plays out. If they can go and get after Rangers, if they can look to try and turn them. The guys in commentary spoke about that physicality in terms of White and Murray up against the two centre-backs of Rangers, who we know Michael Beale will want to, not wrap in cotton wool, but he'll certainly want to look after key players ahead of the midweek game.
That would help him, actually. The sooner they get this game put to bed, the better. Then he can start making the change.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next goal is vitally important, and I'm sure Rangers will be desperate to go and get that third goal as well. I think that will be the message from Michael Beale. Can you, in the next 15 minutes, go and seal the game, make it comfortable, allow us to freshen things up, get players on, get players off? So it's going to be dependent on who really sets the tone in the half. But Ross County are not out of the game. As I say, it just takes one goal to change it.
Yeah, and that's the big message, John Robertson, I suppose. The guys are back. The big message, John, that Malky Mackay have been passing on to his players, that it's 2-0, next goal's crucial.
Absolutely, and it doesn't have to come right away, Liam. That's the thing. If Ross County can hang in till the last 15 minutes, then nick a goal, then Rangers get nervous. But the first 15 minutes is going to be crucial. If Rangers come out firing all cylinders and come out as they finish the first half, they could kill this game, and it would allow Michael Beale the luxury ahead of Eindhoven game to bring the changes, bring some people on, get a wee bit match sharpness, more importantly, take some off just to save the legs, because there's no doubt on Wednesday in Eindhoven they're going to be up against it for most of the game, and they're going to have to work really hard defensively. But as we said, Ross County have had 2 huge breaks. Could have been 4 now, maybe 5 down, and there's absolutely no doubt at all that the referee unfortunately bottled it and not sent Baldwin off. So they've still got their full complement of players, and if they nick the goal, as we know in football, it can completely turn this game around.
So 2-0 it is to Rangers. The team's just making their way back out onto the pitch at Victoria Park there. 3 o'clock then, open all mics, commentary of Celtic St Johnstone. We'll keep you up to date with the Championship Leagues 1 and 2 as well. Tomorrow it's Dundee Hearts and St Mirren against Aberdeen. Then we've got all the European action across BBC Scotland starting on Wednesday evening. PSV against Rangers, remember 2-2 on aggregate. Then on Thursday, Aberdeen 2-2 with Hacken going into the second leg at Pittodrie, live on the TV and radio coverage of PAOK Hearts, updates from Aston Villa Hibs. But it's all about here on Sports Sound. Ross County 0, Rangers 2 in Dingwall, with Derek Ferguson, John Robertson and Rob McLean.
Cheers, Liam. The goal starts of James Tavernier just continue to be mind-boggling. That's his 104th goal for the club. Add to that 117 assists. That's a total of 221, stick with me, goal contributions in 408 games. And he plays at right back. It is ridiculous. And there's still a section of the Rangers support who aren't having him either, James Tavernier. 3 goals in 6 games so far this season, big goals as well. Scored the goal which ultimately got Rangers through against Servette, having tucked away a penalty in the first leg of that tie, and his 3rd goal of the season has come here in Dingwall as we get underway in the second half. And as Victor Loturi loses the ball sloppily immediately after the restart to Raskkanen, as he hauled the Rangers player back, he was booked, and Rangers are on the move down the left-hand side with Barisic. Well, Ross County need to be switched on. They can't afford to be making another mistake and letting in Rangers for a 3rd goal, because at that stage it is curtains for County, and they have to just hang on in there at the moment. Here is Raskkanen. And Ross County intercept, win possession and work it out wide left for Simon Murray to have a little run at Goldson. Jinks inside, now it's Danda, his cross! And Jordan White misses a great chance to make it 2-1. You were looking for that to be nestling in the rigging, but it's gone wide, and that could have brought this game back to life for County.
Well, we said that, you know, that it just takes that one, and that's the big chance, huge chance. And as I said at the top of the programme, John White's got an incredibly good goal-scoring record against Rangers, and it's like the Dessers one in the first half. He's just got to hit the target. You know, Butland's rooted to the spot. He hits the target, County are back in, and it's exactly what we said. They've just broke away, and Rangers, failure of sorts, not to kill them off in the first half with a third or fourth. That's what you leave yourself open to.
Who knows how it's going to pan out from here, Derek, but you just feel that had to go in for County.
Yeah, and it was a massive chance, and Jordan White should be hitting the back of the net. Robbo's absolutely right in saying, Dessers had a couple of opportunities, but he looked really favourite. Front post area, I thought it was just going to nestle in the top right hand corner. And they've come out firing in all cylinders, County at the moment, and that's why we might even go back to it, Rob. That's why people have got to do their jobs, not just the players but the officials. County should be down to 10 men. They've made a change. Harman is off, Nightingale's come on in the second half, and they've found a new what would you call it, a new vigour about them, a certain attitude. They want to get in the faces of Rangers, and they're causing them problems.
In comes the corner kick from Danda, left hand side. That followed a free kick for County that won the corner kick, and they still have it with Luturi playing it out wide for number 10, the clever Danda, but he's stopped by Cantwell from getting his cross in this time. But we're looking as if they mean business at the start of the second half. Ross County, they know how important the next goal in the game is going to be, and they should have had it already in this second half. But can they keep up this level of performance and hope that Rangers are a little bit below their best as they displayed right through that first half?
It's probably the first meaningful touch in the Rangers box in the whole game, and because they started the first half well without causing any problems. That was a glorious opportunity.
James Brown in possession, the Irishman at right back into the central defensive area for Baldwin, lucky to still be on the pitch. Now Danda and Luturi combining down the left hand side. In goes Raskan. Luturi has it back, rolls it for Josh Sims. Now Randall, right in the middle of the pitch, takes a heavy touch and loses it to Lundstrom. But fortunately for Ross County, Rangers then give it away. Nightingale off the bench for Ross County, replacing George Harman in this second half. Now Danda drifting in again off the left side. Had a crack at goal and Tavernier blocked it. And now it's Roof. Tavernier and Roof, the two Rangers goal scorers. And the ball is rolled back to Borna Barisic. Slotted into the midfield for Cantwell. And Rangers look to just slip back into the routine of their first half showing, in which they were dominant. County want to be much more competitive and get more touches inside the opposition box and get a goal back and get themselves believing that they can salvage something out of this game, which has very much so far been in Rangers' possession. Lundstrom lofts one over the top of Nightingale for Dessers out on the right hand side, keeps it, rolls it back for Sam Lammers, and he slips a pass towards James Tavernier. Now Cantwell tried to link up again with Dessers. The pass goes astray for Rangers this time. That hasn't happened too often. Out for a throw in far side. 2-0 they lead.
You just feel, Robbo, that last 2-3 minutes County have been really at it, and you just get that feeling they had to take that chance, that opportunity to give them that belief.
The chance is massive, but it's like a rerun in the first half. Rangers first 5-6 minutes very slack, passes going astray, just a wee bit not quite on point, just too hard, too soft, giving it away. And this time County have failed to take a wee chance there, but you just wonder, is it going to follow the same? Are they going to just up it a gear and then suddenly?
That's why I'm saying that, because it's get that feeling Rangers are going to get into their groove again, start to up the levels, and County may pay the price. That's why when they get those opportunities, you've really got to take them.
Lundstrom again driving Rangers forward. Good challenge by Nightingale, and then the foul by Roof on Jordan White, but advantage played. County still have it, and they curl a pass down the right side for Jan Danda. Keeps it, holds off John Suter. Finally though, Rangers number 5 in with the challenge to win it. Then it runs towards Nightingale. He steers it out wide. James Brown's high hanging cross towards the back post, and it gave Jack Butland plenty of time to get under it and wrap his gloves around it for Rangers.
For all their good play from Rangers, Rob, that was brilliant from Suter defensively. Dragged away out left hand side. Danda going inside and wins his tackle, you know, just getting up against it. He's a good player, Danda, as well, you know, but real good defending, real solid defending.
Lundstrom's pass intercepted by Will Nightingale. Luturi has it just inside the Rangers half. To James Brown it goes. Then it was Luturi who tried to hook a first-time pass down the right side for Jan Danda. Doesn't hit its target, and that is frustrating for Malky Mackay on the touchline as possession is handed back to Rangers. But his team have been a whole lot better in these early moments of the second half. They were really unable to land a blow on Rangers first half. Can they get the goal back that they so desperately want? Nightingale's pass comes off David Munro, and it will be a drop ball, and Ross County have a man down requiring treatment anyway. Robbo, did I see you having a little exchange at half-time with the referee supervisor, Ian Brines?
No comment.
I thought he was ordering as a little cup of tea. You know,
yeah, well, he was making some sort of gesture, I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I thought it might have been to do with David Munro's first
There's only two cup of
performance.
teas right enough that were going to be coming with the looks here.
Well, I mean, you know, he surely got to be marked down for that first half showing David Munro when he failed to show Jack Baldwin a second yellow card. It's great news for Ross County, but it was just inconsistent refereeing. Allegedly. I've never heard you so quiet, Robbo.
Well, it was a private conversation.
I thought the power had gone then again for a minute.
It was a private conversation. I can't possibly say. Can't possibly say what was mentioned there, but let's just say we had a disagreement.
That'll do. Jack Baldwin had an embarrassing moment there as he took the throw, and he got it away at the second attempt. The first attempt at the throw, and the ball slipped through his hands and behind him. One of those ones that he might just be seeing back in a little montage at some point in the season. He just got on with it and got it away quickly second time around to avoid any more embarrassment. Tavernier for Rangers, who lead by 2-0 at Victoria Park, or the Global Energy Arena if you prefer. Well, if there is a next goal in this game, Ross County need it to be for them, otherwise it is going to be Rangers who will get the result they badly want here, ahead of Eindhoven on Wednesday and Ibrox against Celtic next Sunday. It's such a crucial phase of the season for Michael Beale and his team, but they have been mighty impressive, you would have to say, in this match. No problem with their attitude, but County on the attack with Simon Murray down the left-hand side, heading for the byline. Good sliding challenge by Connor Goldson, and tucking in from left back to help out as well was Borna Barisic. Rangers teaming up impressively, and Connor Goldson clearing in the end as County launch it forward, and John Shooter heads it away to Lundstrom. Lundstrom's pass for Kemar Roof out on the left-hand side. Socks rolled down, having scored the opening goal. Back for Cantwell, shot from 25 yards, blocked by Conor Randall. County have it with Sims. Peeling out to the left side again was Murray, but he showed too much of it to Goldson, who slides in and knocks the ball out of play. Ross County are going to make another change. Will Nightingale came on at half-time. Victor Luturi is going to be coming off, and Kyle Turner, who's been in great form, Robbo, is coming on.
Yeah, he came on against St Johnstone after Danda was injured and scored a wonderful goal, played very, very well, and he followed up with another goal last week, so it's certainly an attacking move from Malky, and he can sense they've got something at the moment. As I said, it's 2-0, they've had a glorious chance to score, and he'll sense right now that this is a window of opportunity for County to nick that goal that would certainly, you know, make Rangers really have to work to take all the 3 points.
It was Jordan White that golden opportunity just a couple of minutes into the second half, and how many times does he score against Rangers and Celtic, and how many times from exactly that sort of chance do you see the ball in the back of the net? He usually takes those almost in his sleep, but this time missing the target, missing the chance to get Ross County very much back on the map.
I think he was trying to be too precise, maybe, Rob, and put it in the top corner, maybe instead of just thinking hitting the target.
Great bit of ball winning by Kemar Roof against James Brown. He tries to stand up across towards the back post, and it's grabbed plucked out of the air by Ross Laidlaw, but it was tenacious play again from Kemar Roof, and maybe the way he's been playing and his whole attitude has embodied, Robbo, what Rangers are all about here today.
He's one of them. I think you can't really see a failure in the Rangers team up till now. They've all showed a great appetite for the game. We've talked about the opening 5-6 minutes of each half. They were a wee bit slack. They're starting to knock it about, and Roof, as we've said, there's no question about the quality that he has, and his goal ratio is there, and I would be surprised if he goes much longer, to be fair. I don't think you want to push him too far, maybe 60 minutes, 65 minutes, and then...
Well, there's a couple of subs coming on just now, so that could be that, potentially.
I didn't even notice that.
No, not at all. That was just your football knowledge coming through there, but there's going to be another double switch here for Rangers.
It's been a mixed bag so far this season, you could say, Rob, from Rangers.
Yes.
But today, knowing that it's a massive week coming, it's if the players have just found that, or realised that, and they've started to get into their groove, find their feet a little bit, because there's just a nice balance about them this afternoon.
It's also because of what happened in Kilmarnock, though. I mean, they just can't afford to slip up in the league again, can they?
Yeah, and they're playing with a purpose, a desire. They've defended pretty well, apart from that White opportunity, tenacious, and that quality they've got in the middle of the park, and they've been quick and incisive, in that final third, and they've been a good watch today. But as I say, that 2-goal lead, they've got to be careful.
Murray's pass releases Sims down the left-hand side. He tries to pick out Jordan White in the 6-yard box, but John Suter was perfectly placed at the near post to cut out the danger for Rangers.
It's brilliant defending from Suter. He's with White, but then he realises the ball's going to be cut back across that 6-yard box, leaves White, gets across there and just clears his lines.
Rabi Matondo is going to be coming off the bench for Rangers, and we know what happened the last time he came off the bench for Rangers. He scored that cracking goal.
I think Michael Beale actually knows, Rob, that they're not quite at it. They've not reached the levels that they reached in the first half, and he knows he needs to just bring that little bit extra. And Kemar Roof, we did say, yeah, he's gone off, Lammers has gone off. So there's that injection up front of pace now, because he wants to get Rangers back on top. He wants to get that third goal. I say, because County have just started to sneak into it. They've had a couple of opportunities. Fernie's saying there, John Stewart's had to be lively on a couple of occasions just to make sure that nothing comes of it.
I think it makes sense, certainly with Roof, taking Roof off. What is that? Has he played 60 minutes? Round about that, I'm not too sure. What is that? He's played, Rob?
Yeah, around about the hour mark, yeah.
Yeah, so, and obviously with his history, of picking up injuries, he's had a great game. His goal, magnificent technique, but his all-round display has been top-notch.
Danda for Ross County, floats one in looking for the head of Jordan White, but it was too close to the Rangers goalkeeper, and Butland again makes that look pretty easy in terms of handling. He's been a solid performer for Rangers so far, and it really does help the defenders in front of him when you can guarantee what your goalkeeper's going to do. So on come Matondo and Sima as Rangers make those changes. And the scoreline is as it was halfway through. Ross County 0, Rangers 2. BBC Radio Scotland just completing his circuit of the ground, and back to the Rangers dugout comes Kemar Roof. Exchanges a handshake with Michael Beale, and both parties will be delighted at his contribution here, and he just wants to protect one of Rangers' assets. Back on the bench he goes. Sima to the byline, rolls one in low at the near post, and plenty of bodies been thrown in front of it as it headed back out wide, and James Tavernier swung in a cross ball, but the ball had gone behind. It's going to be a goal kick. And
he's got to do better.
Rangers too.
Yeah, he gets into a great position. Sima, down that right-hand channel into the box, and I don't know why does it. You've got Cantwell, you've got Dessers pulling off. It's got to be a cutback, but Alexi go hard and low across that 6-yard box, and it ended up as defended pretty well with County, but he's got to cut that back.
We're hearing that that first half incident involved Harman of Ross County and not Baldwin, so we may have to get a letter of apology after David Monroe, the referee, but Harman was the the Ross County defender involved, so there was no second yellow required for Jack Baldwin. Clearing up that confusing situation as Sima weaves his way in off the right-hand side and then gets his pass all wrong, intended for Raskan, intercepted by Danda. But young Danda's now coughed it up to Barisic, and it's Rabi Matondo on the attack. Outside him is Barisic, back goes Turner, and the ball goes off the county substitute behind for a corner kick. The momentum of Barisic took him into the crowd. He ended up in among the Rangers fans, and he got maybe a big hug he could have done without there, but Rangers have a corner kick on the way.
On that refereeing decision, Rob, if that is the case, we've got to admit, we are 80, 90 yards away. We've not get TV, not get replays, so but initially, and Rob will spot it, I thought it as well. He thought it was the captain.
The Yarn in studio thought it as well.
Indeed.
Yeah, exactly. So, and listen, it's a yellow card.
Yeah, whoever it was. Yeah, exactly. Corner kick Rangers, left-hand side, James Tavernier swings it in, back post, good punch by Ross Laidlaw. There were plenty of bodies around, and he took the right decision there to get that away. 6,540 inside the ground. Ross County 0, Rangers 2 is still the scoreline as Will Nightingale heads away. Another Rangers cross ball, and Turner just whips one down the line, hoping that there might be somebody in dark blue up on the end of it, but nobody there for the home team. Cantwell to Barisic for Rangers. He steers one in behind Nightingale for Dessers. What a pass that was. Dessers cuts it back looking for Sima. In goes Matondo to the byline, cuts it back, and nobody there for Rangers to apply the finishing touch. Ross County get away with one.
I think Dessers is caught in his heels, not just once, but a couple of times. It was a brilliant ball from Barisic down this left-hand side, and I think Dessers doesn't expect it's going to go there. He's still got to make that run. Gets a little bit lucky, but then the cutback again, he should be alive to the situation. He's a centre forward in the box, and I just think he's caught in his heels a little bit, Robbo.
He certainly won, but it just shows you that the way the game's changed slightly, because neither Lundstrom or Raskin or Cantwell, midfieldmen, were anywhere near the box. Because there's another one, you would expect one of the midfield men to be getting there, perhaps be picked out, but they were all very, very deep.
Ross County 0, Rangers 2. How does this game go from here? Ross County much more in the game, and another change is coming for them, and it's Josh Reid, the 21-year-old, the Scotland under-21 international, who was at Coventry and who's back in Dingwall, who will enter the fray here, and he will replace Ryan Leake, who goes off, Leake off, Reid on. And he will operate in that area on the left side of the Ross County defence, left wing back for him, with or left back if it's a 4. Lundstrom in possession in the centre circle. Back it goes to Suter, out wide with Barisic. Borna Barisic slides a pass towards Rabi Matondo. Off and running inside, gets away from Brown, tries the shot, great effort as well. And it's touched over the top by Ross Laidlaw. Brilliant from Matondo.
Yeah, that's what you want, and that's why I think, fair play to Michael Beale. He's seen that Roof is starting to struggle fitness-wise, maybe not as sharp. Matondo's come on, he's lifted it already with a cut, a great burst. Tremendous strike, great save.
A save you would expect Laidlaw to be making, but it was moving at a fair old pace from Matondo. Corner kick, Rangers. James Tavernier swings it in. It's another header for Cyril Dessers. He's coming out this time, coming away from goal, getting his head on it, but he couldn't keep it down. It flies over the top.
He could have had a hat-trick of headers this afternoon. Again, he's in around that 6-yard box, unchallenged. Again, I'm not sure, is he expecting a bit of contact, but, he's got to get his head on that, try and head it downwards, just hit the target. That's 3 glorious chances he's had.
Do you cut him some slack because he's coming out and away from goal?
No, it's technique. I still think as a striker, you're expected to, to score it. I mean, as you say, he's had 3 really, really good headed chances today.
He mistimed that one.
And he's not taking any.
Crossfield from Conor Randall to James Brown for Ross County, and now Jan Danda, their talented number 10. Kyle Turner is able to drive towards the Rangers box. Good feet, good skill, good balance. Great run from Turner, heading towards the byline. And you have to doff your cap as well to Borna Barisic, who got his body in the way, ushered the ball behind. It was great defending after a lively burst from Turner.
That was different class, wasn't it? You know, he's got a wall of white jerseys in front of him. It doesn't phase on one bit. Gets past 1, gets past 2, goes past 3, and end up he's just kind of maybe out-muscled a little bit. But he's capable. I saw Turner last season with Partick Thistle. Any time he was a real top performer. Good signing for County.
Yeah, that's what you do when you lose in the playoffs. You join the team that beat you, so to make sure you're in the Premiership. Kyle Turner looks like a good signing.
He's been very unfortunate not to start, Rob, because said he played very well. When he come on for Danda after about half an hour in St Johnstone game, he was took a great finish, but he was excellent. So he'll probably find himself a wee bit miffed that he's not playing, but County have been very solid, very strong, very consistent.
But what he's doing, Robbo, he's not miffed. He's going out, he's got a little point to prove. He's showing the manager what he's all about. He's already, what I've noticed, a couple of second balls. He's already won, really important in that area of the park that he patrols. But that was a wonderful bit of skill, wasn't it, in the edge of the box from him?
Yeah, I think what he does is he gives Ross County something a little bit different. He was very directed, he was very skillful, and it was something that Rangers haven't had to deal with so far. Good play from Turner, and good play as well in response from Barisic.
Yeah, but Fergie's talking about the balance of the Rangers team. What County have changed the second half is they've got an attacking midfield player in there with a defensive midfield player, but they know they need to get a goal. Yeah. And he's brought that to the game.
On the overlap, Barisic, great ball in! It's another header for Rangers in the middle. It was Abdallah Sima this time who got his head to it and powered it down. Scrambled away by Laidlaw. It's gone behind for the corner.
Yeah, it's brilliant. You know, Matondo just feeding the ball into Barisic on the overlap. Wonderful ball in. Sima, powerful header down. But again, I'm not picking on him. I think Dessers, centre forward striker in the area, he's got to be alive to that. He's got to be following in, and looking for that little break of ball.
You're on his case.
Yeah, well, expect it unexpected. I mean, you should be speaking to Rob about that. That was his game, in the box. He was alive to everything. But I think a centre forward's got to be reacting better.
Here's the Tavernier corner kick, high towards the back post. Leaping for the header was John Suter, who powered it down, and Ross County scrambled it clear. Well, they're pushing here are Rangers for a deciding goal as Raskan whips in a cross ball, and out came Ross Laidlaw with a good punch, and there was an offside. In any case, the flag goes up on the far side. Another change for Ross County. They've got to go for it, and Eamon Brophy is going to join the attack with Simon Murray coming off.
Rob, do you think even with the changes, does it make County even stronger with the changes they've made then?
Well, listen, Murray's been on fire. I think he's got 7 goals this season so far. He'll work his socks off. I mean, he never gives defenders a minute. He's all action, and he's a real, I said at the start, he's a real pest of a striker. He gets all over the place. Brophy has got more, I would say, more composure about him. Nice touch, and he's not as sort of up and at them like Simon Murray is, but he's a good finish. He's a good finisher as well. And again, we talked about, you said the balance of the Rangers team, the balance of the County teams, every bit is good now in terms of what they can bring. It's whether they've got the quality to create another chance like they did for the Jordan White one.
Josh Reid down the left-hand side, heading for the byline, turns it back towards Turner, left side of the box, and he whips it across goal. And it's good goalkeeping from Butland, because that was heading towards Jordan White in the middle until the goalkeeper intervened. Rangers preparing another couple of changes, including Danilo. They lead by 2-0 on BBC Radio Scotland against Ross County in Dingwall. Barisic under pressure. Brown with a challenge, and now it's Randall up to the edge of the area, shifts it out towards Sims, and Josh Sims blasts a shot over the top. What an opportunity. He's claiming fingertips and a corner kick. The officials say no.
He's got 2 wrong there. I think it's a foul initially. It looked a foul on the Rangers player there, but he allowed that to go, and then it's a brilliant save for Jack Butland. He's definitely tipped that over the bar. So I think first and foremost it could have been a free kick, and then secondly it's a brilliant save.
Yeah, there were fingertips. It should have been a corner kick. You can tell from player reaction, can't you?
Yeah, it was clear to see, Rob. It was a top save, but what you can see is a Ross County side. That's why I was asking Robbo. They'll look a stronger side. They're starting to get after Rangers now. They've got more belief, and they've rattled Rangers a little bit over the last 5-10 minutes.
There's no doubt that the second half performance is completely different from the first half, where they couldn't get anywhere near Rangers. But now the four Ross County midfield players are playing a lot tighter, and they're squeezing the midfield three Rangers, and they're getting these little slap passes and then getting on the counter attack here and getting themselves. That's a second decent opportunity. It's a great strike, great save. Allied to the one with Jordan White, as you've said earlier on, County have got themselves back in this match.
This is a big moment for Rangers and a big moment for Tom Lawrence as well. Back after a long injury absence comes their number 11. It'll be a massive relief for him to get back on the pitch, and for Rangers as well, and their supporters, because before he got injured, Derek, he was outstanding.
Yeah, clever player, good engine, eye for a goal as well. Everything you want in a midfielder. I wasn't trying to get after Dezers, but maybe the manager has now, because he's just got the hook, and he must be sitting on that bench now so disappointed, because he's had 3 glorious chances, to get himself on the score sheet. And as a centre forward, you live and die by your goals, and I think that'll maybe be it'll be in the back of his mind, obviously, over the course of the next 2 or 3 days, because if he looks back at that, I think we know where he has to improve.
Danilo immediately involved off the bench. Good run from him, linking with Tavernier. His cross blocked by Conor Randall. There were strangled shouts about a penalty, not much chance of that. But the ball is slipped forward by Jordan White to Eamon Brophy. Brophy against Shooter. Left side of the box, good feet from Eamon Brophy. Rolls it inside, cleared by Goldson, but it's straight back to Brophy. He's on the byline, he lifts it in, 2 in the middle, but it was a lofted cross that was very comfortable in the end for Jack Butland.
This is not the game that Michael Beale wants now. It's end to end, it's opened up, and County it's the old boxer's chance. They're giving themselves every opportunity.
Great challenge by Will Nightingale as we welcome off the ball listeners who are joining us for the closing stages in Dingwall. The substitute there for Ross County with a well-timed challenge on Danilo, as Rangers are pushing for the goal which would put this game beyond County. At the moment, there are still home hopes of coming back from that 2-goal deficit.
And the game should be put to bed, to be quite honest with you. The amount of chances, clear-cut chances that Rangers have had has been quite unbelievable, compared to County, that one from Jordan White, but they still look a dangerous side. And I said, that 2-goal lead, it's always dangerous, and they've just got a new vigour about them, a new appetite for the game, and quality. That's certainly, they look a stronger side from the one that started for me.
They're taking chances, Fergie. Look, you see now Brown's moved into the midfield to try and press in there as well. They're going 3 for 3 at the back, but they know they've got to get the goal, and that's credit to Malky Mackay, that he's desperate for his boys to push on, because he knows that this spell in the game, he can nick something. Rangers may well get nervous.
We're inside the last 15 minutes in Dingwall, and still those Ruth and Tavernier goals make the difference here, and Rangers look to strike again with Raskan trying to reverse a pass towards Danilo. Kyle Turner plays it out towards Josh Sims. They can't keep it, Ross County. Lundstrom to Sima, who scored that screamer at Ibrox on Tuesday night in the 2-2 draw with PSV, and of course it's the return in Eindhoven on Wednesday. But there's been no distracting Rangers here. Really strong first half performance, and here goes Sima down the side. Great run, he cuts it back, looking for Danilo, cleared only as far as John Lundstrom, and he steers a shot wide of target.
I think he's caught in 2 minds. As the ball comes to him, just outside the box, he's thinking to go with the lace. He's put the foot through the ball, and then he thinks, oh, I might sky it, and then he goes for the option. I'm going to try and place it. He does neither, and it's a tame effort, and goes well wide past that left-hand post. But another opportunity, a kind of half chance for Rangers. but again, another opportunity.
It was a good leap seconds ago there from Jordan White, doing what he does, flicking the ball on in the direction of Eamon Brophy. It was defended by Rangers, and they do have a free kick 25 yards from goal. Goldson angles it out towards Rabi Matondo, headed away by Will Nightingale, helped on by Randall. A White for Ross County, and a lovely driven pass for Eamon Brophy, who hammers in across from the right-hand side all the way along the grass. Rangers get it clear. Back it comes from Nightingale, bouncing towards the dependable Butland.
There's no doubt now, Rob, County have changed their formation. They've gone 3-5-2. They're pressing everything now. The wing backs are Brown and Sims. They're going 3 for 3 with Clark. So Rangers, it's 3v3 up front. Fair play to Malky Mackay. He's not sitting back and hoping. He's trying to press the game here. He's trying to put extra bodies in, and he's going man for man at the back.
The ball's out on the far side, close to halfway. After this, of course, Celtic St Johnstone, Hibs Livingston, and Motherwell against Kilmarnock. Today's other Premiership games. Dundee play Hearts tomorrow, St Mirren against Aberdeen. All that to come on Sportsound across the weekend. And it has all started in the Premiership with an impressive Rangers showing against Ross County. County been a whole lot better second half. They'll get plenty of plaudits for an improved performance, but so far they just can't eat into that 2-goal advantage as Matondo spins away from Brown. James Brown then recovers with a sliding challenge, and the referee pulls it back for a free kick to Rangers for an earlier tussle.
Yeah, there was just a little block there from Brown in the first time from Matondo, but
I think it was a little tug, was it? A little tug there.
But County, you've called it, Rob. The County have made a much better fist in the second half. They've really got in Rangers' faces, and they say that they will be. There's no doubt that, you know, for all Rangers' dominance in the first half, the Jordan White chance is huge, huge. Even though Laidlaw's had more saves in the second half.
Again, just talking about Turner there. He sees Brown isolated 1v1 with Matondo, and his first thought is, get across there, help my teammate.
Borna Barisic with the cross ball. Abdallah Sima was looking to get in on the end of that, coming in off the right side, not making contact. It was an inviting ball in as ever from Barisic. Here come Rangers again, and just getting in each other's way at the edge of the area. Danila was interested in that, but forward came James Tavernier, and after what he did in the first half, entitled to have another go, this time well off target.
Yeah, you'd have fancied him there, and it's funny because we've talked about Dessers. Listen, he's put a shift in, but he's missed 3 chances. But you can see the other psyche of the striker coming on. Danilo's desperate to score, because you'll be thinking, well, I've gone on, I've scored a goal, you only gave me 15, 20 minutes. There's my goal, because he'll be wanting to start more games.
The thing is, Robbo, but you're judged on your goals. Yeah, there's no argument. He has put a shift in, but
mistake by Lundstrom,
golden chance,
and his pocket was picked by Eamon Brophy. Now it's Danda being forced out wide by good defending from John Suter, but it was just a little bit careless from Rangers, and Brophy could have been in. In the end, it's out for a throw-in, and it could be, well, it could have been a long throw, but it's taken short by Baldwin to Brown. James Brown with a casual pass forward, which gives the ball away. Rangers on the counter. Great sliding challenge from Josh Reid to get it back for Canty. Turner threads it through, looking for Jordan White. It doesn't stick. And Jordan White pointing towards Conor Randall, because there was maybe an easy pass there out wide for Turner instead of the more difficult one down the middle. Rangers back on the ball, and they still have this 2-0 lead. Tavernier, one of their goal scorers, plays it to Tom Lawrence. Lead off towards Raskan. Great challenge by Danda to win it for Josh Sims, who now drives forward with the ball, and a clumsy challenge from John Lundstrom. Dex County's number 11. It will be a free kick for the home team. They need a goal, and they need it quickly. This free kick is about 15 yards in from the touchline, left-hand side. And they certainly have plenty of ammunition to throw at this. Baldwin and Nightingale alongside Jordan White, Naaman Brophy at the edge of the area. Randall is in there as well. Here's Danda with the free kick. Well, he popped it into a very good area in front of the goalkeeper. Nobody in dark blue able to get there. Bounces into the goalkeeper's gloves.
Too much distance to make up, you know. Rangers try to hold the line on that 18-yard box. Yeah, it was a decent ball in, Rob. Plenty of pace on it, you know, curl towards goal. But I just think the distance for the players was just a little bit too much to cover.
Rangers looking to navigate their way through the closing stages, and with that in mind, Ryan Jack is about to come on as a sub. Wonder if Lundstrom might go off. He's made a couple of mistakes in the last few minutes, and it would just be a straight swap in that area where that to be the change. Goldson crossing halfway, clips one in for Sima, leaves it to Danilo, and he tries to curl one in, right-footed. Down goes Laidlaw to his left to make the save. Here come Rangers again. Back it goes to Lawrence. His shot blocked by Nightingale. And he plays it out to Sims, but it's won back very quickly by Matondo, who steers it left side for Barisic. It's a great cross ball in, and it's an important header from Josh Reed to flick that out of harm's way.
Yeah, Rangers have upped it again, and Danilo, as the front three are looking a lot sharper, but as I said, County have made a real game of it second half. It's been pretty even in terms of the intensity and getting into the box, but Rangers have asked more questions of Laidlaw. They say Butland's had that one terrific save that he got absolutely no credit for, whereas Laidlaw still had to make saves.
That was great play from Danilo. As soon as the ball popped into Sima just outside the box, he's on his bike, Danilo right across him. Lovely touch, strike at goal.
Nikola Raskan has gone off to be replaced by Ryan Jack. Just about keeping things neat and tidy in that central midfield area, you would imagine, for the Scottish international midfielder. Just ensuring that Ross County don't do what they want to do, which is get a goal back here and give themselves some late hope of salvaging something out of the game. As it is, Rangers on course for a vital victory. Lundstrom slips a pass through, and it's Rabi Matondo. And his shot slips wide of target. He just tried to open his body and curl that in at the far post. It slips just wide.
Look, you can't blame him for what he scored, but it's a simple one. Roll it across the goals. He's got two men in the middle.
Would you have crossed that?
Yes.
Absolutely not.
I would have rolled that across the six.
You kidding me on?
I'd have been the one in the middle waiting on it.
John Roberts' nose grew considerably there as he suggested passing the ball inside the box.
I've played with Robbo for 3 years. There's no way Robbo was passing that.
No, I know that.
Yeah, but it's a winger.
I just think he's
in and goal.
Roll it across. It's a Wayne Foster-ish. Roll it into the middle and I'll tap it in.
The one thing he just doesn't quite get is a curl on the ball. He opens his body out. But I like Sima, the reaction. You know, he's trying to get across there. He's inches away, but no, it's that technique, curling it into that far corner, not quite getting it.
Robbo, just you slip on this lie detector and we'll try that question again.
His nose is growing as well.
You didn't listen. I said I would have been the one in the middle.
I know exactly. You wouldn't have done that much. You wouldn't have done that much running.
I'd have got a nosebleed for being that way in the first place.
Here's Jack Baldwin for Ross County with the long throw. Into the box it goes. Suter won the header. There were plenty of dark blue shirts looking to get on the end of that. Here comes the counter attack now here with Tom Lawrence. In goes Kyle Turner, who was caught by the Lawrence slide, and it will be a Ross County
it's
free
amazing
kick.
That despite the amount of chances Rangers have had sort of second half as well, you know, how many times have we said good defending Suter? You know, Suter has had to be sharp today, and he has been, and he's been in situations that might have caused problems, but he's done what we all expect of him. You know, good, really good, solid defending.
It's a good partnership, that, Goldson and Suter, and getting better with each passing game. Josh Sims on the left-hand side for Ross County, tries to cut inside, and he was taken out by Tavernier, and it will be a free kick here for Ross County, and they'll want to be getting some joy from this.
That's a good position and swinging. You know, now the players can get a little bit closer, you know, to go, you know, about the 2-3 yards outside that 6-yard box. So I think is it Danda who's going to hit that? Yeah, you know, just whip that across that 6-yard box and hope one of the county players get across and get their head on or get a contact on it. But this will cause a problem.
This is the old one, Fergie, where tell him to aim for the back post, smash it on target, aim for the back post, and get somebody across it.
Late on in Dingwall, an important moment for the home team, 2-0 down. It's Danda with the free kick, played in towards the back post. Nightingale was trying to get on the end of it, and that is a really important header from Abdallah Sima, was it? Back post, glancing it behind, getting there first. So a corner kick now for County, as they look to introduce some late drama in Dingwall. With the corner kick, Kyle Turner. Floated back post, missed by Butland, back into the mix it goes. Rangers scramble it clear, and now they're cantering with Danilo. In goes Ryan Jack, and Jan Danda just spotting Butland off his line from virtually the halfway line. Tried to beat the Rangers keeper, not quite.
Yeah, good vision, but I tell you what, Rob, I don't know if you agree with me, Rob, but boy, Kyle Turner, he's been exceptional since he's come on. You know, not just going forward, you know, covering, setting balls, wanting to get the play going. You know, you just wonder why he hasn't started this game. He's been different class.
Although it was Jan Danda who came in, and he's contributed as well. But as you say, Turner off the bench, and he's been in good goal-scoring form, and he's going to be a good player for County, I think, not much doubt about that.
That's what I said earlier on. He might have been miffed not to start, because he's the games he's played in, he come on against St Johnstone, scored a great goal, done very well, and then also scored again last week against Airdrie. But you know, County went with a solid 4-4-2, and I can understand the two set midfield players to begin with to try and keep the game quiet.
Good play from Matondo, jinking his way inside. Was he taken out off the ball? He certainly was. He played it into Danilo. He was wanting to get the ball back, but he's currently flat out in the penalty box because he was body checked out of it. And Rangers got a free kick here inside 25 yards.
Yeah, and it was Kyle Turner picked up the booking there, but I think he takes one for the team, because I think he's going to get done with the give and go, and he's got a decision to make. You know, I need to block him, you know, because if he doesn't, you know, the Rangers in and goal. So yeah, he takes a booking, one for the team, but it's a great opportunity for Rangers. 2-3 yards outside the box, left hand side.
Yeah, I don't know what makes me say this, but I think this could be James Tavernier.
Certainly looks like
when they find the ball.
Yeah, well, here comes a replacement. Well, he scored brilliantly in the first half, James Tavernier, and this is well left of centre. It's just maybe 3 yards outside the penalty box. Looks like a great position this for the Rangers captain, who could just put the icing on the cake here. Borna Barisic is in the vicinity as well. It's Tavernier, it's into the wall. I think there might have been an arm there blocking it, but it was certainly tucked in. No great appeal. And play goes on. Goldson on the halfway line. Forward go, Rangers. And it's Will Nightingale who clears the on-loan Wimbledon defender, stabs that away, and it's gone out for a throw-in on the far side. The Rangers fans behind Ross Laidlaw's goal are in party mode. They are getting exactly what they came here for as we go into stoppage time. 4 minutes to be added. 2-0 Rangers. Ryan Jack driving down the right side, and his pass intercepted by Josh Reed. And it's gone out. Again, close to that corner flag on the far side for a Rangers throw-in.
And no need to force it now. It looks as if they've got the job done. Should have had more goals. I think that's clear to say, but you know, I think it's just seeing the game out now.
Turner for County tries to find White. The ball slips through towards Brophy. Played back inside. Lundstrom's challenge into the back of White. And there is a card coming for Lundstrom. And I think rightly so.
I think he gets the card for his reaction, not for the tackle. I think he's disappointed, obviously, that he's got the foul against him, but The referee, I think he was going to just let that go, Robbo, but it's his reaction to the referee that gets him the booking.
Yeah, it's a new law. I think you're right. I think Mr. Monroe there was going to, Dimmer was going to let him go with the tackle because he seemed to win the ball, but he's given the foul. But you're right, the moment he starts to argue.
Oh, good effort from Jordan White on the end of Kyle Turner's free kick. It just got caught up the ball under a couple of boots inside the box, and it suddenly popped up for White to have a shot at goal. Struck it pretty well, but not wide enough of Butland to beat the goalkeeper.
I think that's his first save of the game, Rob. He's had a number of crosses to deal with Butland, but I'm sure that's his first save.
Tavernier slips a pass through. County defend it well enough. Tavernier again to Matondo. Left side of the box. Jinks back, tries to find an angle for a shot at goal, but it goes well wide of target. We're well into stoppage time now here at the end of this match, and Rangers are heading for 3 Premiership points, and just what they wanted ahead of those massive matches to come. Forward from Laidlaw, missed by Nightingale, headed away by Lawrence. In goes Turner. Jordan White lays it back for Josh Reid in the centre circle. Clips it to Baldwin, floated out wide, kept in by Sims. Rangers still working really hard in these closing stages, even though they might be cruising towards the win here. The attitude for Michael Beale's team has been spot on. No hint of distraction. Jordan White wins a header, knocks it down. Brophy trying to get on the end of it. Suter escorts the ball back to his goalkeeper.
I think you're spot on, Rob. I think some of the football that Rangers played in the first half, it was exceptional. I think they've had to show a different side of themselves in the second half. They've had to dig in a little bit. Ross County, credit to them, you know, changed their shape, changed some players, and been far better. They've had a go at Rangers, but Rangers have stood up to that. As I said, I'm sure that was Butland's only save of the game. Yeah, he's had 2 or 3 crosses that he's had to deal with, but it's a good afternoon's work, that's for sure.
Michael Beale will be pleased with lots of aspects about the second half as well, Robbo, won't he?
You said he was purring at half-time, Rob. He actually applauded his team off. He stood there and applauded them, which shows you where he felt they were first half. We all expected Rangers to kick on, and that's been down to tactical tweak from Malky Mackay and a much better attitude intensity from Ross County second half. But you're right, Rangers have still had 3, 4, 5 really good chances, and there's no doubt they've deserved to win the game, but I think both teams will come out of it and be quite happy how they played.
Rangers have a couple of major challenges coming over the horizon. Eindhoven on Wednesday, and their first Old Firm meeting with Celtic next Sunday. But they have been spot on in Dingwall in terms of how they had to start that week of crucial football matches, and they have got the performance and the result they were after. It finishes 2-0. It could have been a whole lot bigger a winning margin had they snapped up all their opportunities. There was a hat-trick of headers for Cyril Dessers. For one thing, none of them found the back of the net, but Rangers did go in front midway through the first half when the Borna Banisic's corner kick found Kemar Roof starting for the first time in 16 months and getting back into the old routine with a well-controlled hook shot at the back post to open the scoring. And 3 minutes later, it was 2-0 Rangers. Tavernier waltzed forward, Ross County stood off him, and that's never a great idea. And the Rangers captain did what he does, not with a blistering strike this time, but a beautifully placed side foot effort, which he planted in the top corner for his 104th Rangers goal, his 3rd in 6 games this season. Other chances, plenty of them for Rangers to add to that 2-0 advantage. Ross County were a whole lot more competitive in the second half. There were much more in the game. Jordan White missed a great chance immediately after the interval, and they just couldn't really do enough inside the Rangers penalty box, and a lot of credit for that would have to go down to some good defending, particularly from Goldson and Suter Rangers not flattered by the winning margin in the end. Michael Beale heads down the tunnel and he'll be very satisfied with what he's got from his players, who need to step it up, of course, going into the next couple of matches. But this was an encouraging watch for the Rangers fans who travelled to Dingwall. The early kick-off in the Premiership finishes Ross County 0, Rangers 2.
The Scottish Premiership.
From BBC Radio Scotland.